YouTube. Back again with some 1/10 pieces this time. I got them all in the same day, so I figured I'm just going to throw them all in here at once. We'll start from left to right. Obviously, this is Beast in 1/10 scale. He's got a piece of the Sentinel head in his hand. Here's his portrait. I really like the proportions they gave him for his body. I like the big abdomen. Nails look good. Nice fur texture. Good shading. Nice wet look to the mouth there. $30 feet. I think the base could be painted better, but it's not bad for 1/10. I just feel like the figures on these are painted better than their bases. For this one, the Wolverine and the Iron Man, I think both the bases are painted better. Give you a little spin real quick. It's got wires hanging here. You got the wood base. I'm assuming they're fighting through the mansion, since the full dio depicts that. And then with Wolverine, well, let me show you his back real fast. This is my favorite version of Beast, just in his little undies. I like the Jim Lee style and cartoon style of the X-Men, the animated series. Profile of the portrait. Then we got Wolverine. Now, where he keys in, there's actually a footprint there. So you know exactly how to line it up, and it's pretty easy to get the key in. But that's all that's holding them up there, and it's an extreme angle. But I don't see anything that tells me that this is going to lean in the future. This is probably my favorite out of the three I got in front of me right now. Definitely prefer Wolverine to the Beast 1/10, but that might just be because of the love I have for this character. But I think the pose is better for me, and the sculpt is better for me. I like the portrait slightly more on this than the Beast. And I like the paint on this because there's more colors used and everything looks great. The glove colors look great. The shoulder pads look great. The yellow, there's no marks on it. I mean, it's pretty much painted flawlessly. Right color black. The mouth has gloss again. Look at that. For 1/10, show me a better teeth and mouth than that for 1/10. I'll wait. Now, some people have been commenting that they're not crazy about the pose, but in the full dio, he's blasting through the chest of a Sentinel. So, I mean, what do you want him to be? Arms forward? Sorry, one arm is tucked back. That's just the way it is. I think it looks great. Like the size of the fins on the mask. I like the way they have the arm hair applied. It's got like a dry brush type technique look on it. Looks great. It's not too heavy. There we go. The texture on the yellow is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing about it. It is very, very small. It looks bigger here on screen, but when you're back in person, you know it looks this big to you. So yeah, love the texture. Love the texture on the leather with the stitching for the stripes. I think his proportions are great. Nice tread on the boots. The base is painted nice. You got some insides, look like cables, and then the metal structure right here. The metal internals of the Sentinel. And that's the chest piece, the outside of what the chest piece would look like. And the claws are great. I mean, for me, they don't have to be chrome or shiny. I'm perfectly fine with silver metal look, but I mean, either way I like. So they're spaced perfectly, and they're not they're splayed a little bit, meaning they come out towards the end a little compared to his fist. I like when they have a little outwardsness to the two outside ones. And then we got the Mark 85 Iron Man from Endgame. Here's the second torso without the repulsors on the back. The one I have on right now has the repulsors. And here's the hands that you could put on that do not have the blast effect to them. And they're nice as well. You can see the weathering done to them. Very nice. Here is the Stark portrait. The Mark 85, the box was the biggest of the three. There were so many. It was like twice as big as the Wolverine box. Nice close up of that blood there. And it's actually wet looking. So I think for its size, for a 1/10, it's not a bad likeness at all. It's not perfect, but it's good. Again, show me a 1/10 that looks better. Then you got the base here. You got the iron I-beam girder sticking out. And the explosion effect. I really like their explosion effects on all their 1/10s. On Hulkbuster, it looks really nice as well. I think it's much better than Sideshow, the way they depict their explosions. For example, on the older Spider-Man PF, the explosion doesn't look very great. On the 1/5 Iron Man, it doesn't look that great, in my opinion. It looks good, but I prefer Iron Studios' take on them. Then he's got the Avenger logo back there in the base. His foot doesn't touch. His leg, I mean. It's very close, but it doesn't touch. It just pegs into this effect, and that's what holds it up. As you can see, there's weathering on the boots and along the whole suit. And there's the other blast effects for the hands. And the repulsors on this back, on this torso. There's weathering all throughout, all the same technique on every piece. So it all looks consistent. All the colors are consistent and the weathering is consistent. And the lines are all painted very nice. Give you a quick 360. Let me move this other portrait. Get you in focus here. There you go. That's what the repulsors look like. Again, with the weathering on the arm there and all over the suit. And that's what the bottom of the foot looks like. Back of the base. So yeah, I'd say for me, I think the scaling is good on these. Wolverine's obviously the smallest piece. He's on an extreme lean, so it's going to make it even shorter. But if you compare the mass and the proportions, that looks right to me. I mean, Iron Man is bigger than Beast as well, so you can see it. I think they're proportioned the way they should be. I'll have to line these up next to more 1/10s to see if they do seem smaller. But all I have is Wolverine and Beast right now. I'll be waiting for Gambit, Rogue, Jean, and Sabretooth and Omega Red. So I'll have a lot of pieces to compare. Once I get the Sabretooth, you know, I can compare it to this Iron Man and other pieces that they should be close in the size. Alright, guys. Until the next one.